Live from New York, it's a show that's getting a little bit hungry already for this Bears versus Browns grudge match.
That's right.
The winner gets dinner?
Yeah.
And anything else? Or
Well,
just
yeah,
a
remember,
wonderful
if
dinner?
Brew wins, Danny has to have Christmas cards printed up for his family.
I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
because there's a little extra juice on it.
That really
Speaking
backfired.
of which, I loved your Christmas card.
Wow, thank you.
Family looks great.
Wow, thanks.
Did you open yours?
I did open it. I also, can I say the funny thing your wife did?
Sure.
In Christmas cards, you have the picture of usually the parents and then the kids with their kids' age in parentheticals.
That's right.
His wife included his age on it as
47.
47.
I would have loved to laugh at that joke if I would have gotten a card.
What? Not yet.
Wow. You're going to get it in the mail.
Oh, I'm
He
gonna get it in
handed them out to us because he didn't send them to us.
You're going to get it
Like
in the mail?
Yeah.
that story.
Ooh, Browns Bears. One of the coldest games in Soldier Field history.
That's right.
Yikes. Caleb trying to avoid the icy grip of Mother Nature. And Myles Garrett. Oh, question here. Are you confident Caleb can dominate the Browns defense?
Well,
Dominates.
Oh, boy.
That's a no.
well, hold on. Hold on a second.
The word is dominate. That
Dominate
threw him
stuff.
off.
I've never
win?
seen it before.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
No, I gotta be honest. Listen, I've been gambling my whole life, and I'm thrilled that you agreed to the wager. But sometimes I do bite off a little bit more than I can chew because there is I woke up this morning and I was like, talk about your all-time backfires. Because I honestly think, I am so confident that the Bears are going to beat the Browns. They don't even need Caleb to throw the ball.
Yeah.
But I made the wager a statistical one for Caleb Williams against Shedeur Sanders. So and you guys are the judges of who pays for the dinner. So if Caleb has 4 pass attempts, but the Bears win by 20, and Shedeur gets a lot of garbage time passing stats.
You lose, buddy.
Yeah.
If he has 4 pass attempts, you lose,
That's
buddy.
insulting.
Yeah.
That would really be bad.
Well, the thing is, everyone's like, well, it's going to be cold, or the Browns defense. The Bears are the best running team in the NFL since their bye week in week 4. They're the second best running team in the league. Cleveland's defense, little overrated. Wow.
I don't think so.
They're the 13th ranked rush defense in football.
Tony Pollard ran all over him.
Tony Pollard just
That
had
was
the
bad,
biggest
right.
game against them all year. Half the season, they're giving up 137 yards on the ground 4 times over 120.
I think a lot of their, and not to interrupt you, but
No, you're
quickly,
good.
I do think some of their defensive sacks, because they're not as impressive as everybody says, oh, their defense is great. I think a lot of that's because they haven't scored points. The offense gives them no help, and the defense is out there all game long. And you look at the rush yards, if you get up on Cleveland, what are you going to do? You're going to run the football. So I think that's a little bit.
Right, but that's. I made a bet on passing stats. Yeah. I made a bet on passing stats, and so I think the Bears will win this game. I think Caleb will outplay Shedeur. He should. He's much better. But I honestly think the Bears will go into this game and say, why pass?
So
why pass?
Here would be the argument as to why pass at least a bit. We just talked about the Broncos a bit and about how the Broncos might not have to have great quarterback play to be a real contender because they have a great defense, right? And so great defense, great special teams, great offensive line, great coach, 18th best quarterback might in this year's AFC be able to get you through. The Bears don't have a great defense, and this year's NFC is loaded with quarterbacks we believe in more so than the AFC. If the Bears are a real contender, Caleb has to start playing better. That is something I think everyone, even the biggest Caleb defenders, will agree on, that Caleb, we are seeing these flashes, these moments, these halves like we did against Green Bay until the final pass he threw. And I think that Ben Johnson has a very delicate balance over the last month of the season of making sure the team qualifies for the playoffs while also making sure that in the playoffs they have their best shot of doing damage. And those two things are not exactly aligned. In this...
But I hear what you're saying, but do you think, I don't think they're going into these late games, these last games, experimenting. Like I hear you're saying, look, they got to get Caleb throwing the football, but this isn't the game for that.
I guess
with Myles Garrett.
I think it would be I think it would be smart to say, hey, it's year 2 of Caleb, year 1 of Ben Johnson. We're already at least slightly ahead of the schedule as far as the Ben Johnson era, not the Caleb era, but the Ben Johnson era. So let's try to win games while also improving where we're deficient. And so that's where I would be very disappointed if I were a Bears fan if the game plan was keep the ball out of Caleb's hands.
But I don't think it's out of fear. I think it's because they think they can run all over Cleveland.
But why wouldn't they think they can also throw on Cleveland, I guess is my
Well, the pass
They're
rush.
one of the best pass defenses in football.
Myles Garrett.
See, because I could see Caleb. Look, I talked about it. He was phenomenal last weekend in the rollouts, design rollouts, all that stuff. And some of it he just rolled out himself. But I think with this pass rush, I think he's going to start. He could get in Superman mode, and he's scrambling to get away from the rush, and then he does make some plays that way. But I think that could go bad for him. I don't think he'll be terrible. I think he'll kind of be what he's been.
Well, you just think Shador's going to cook.
Yeah. I'm not even going to say Shador's going to cook. I just think he'll put up better numbers. I think he'll play better overall. And I do agree with a lot of what you said. Like, if I'm the Bears, I am going into this thinking, let's run the football. We got a great run team. That is, I wouldn't say a weakness of the Browns defense, but it's more of a weakness for them than their pass defense.
They're the 26th ranked rush defense the last 7 weeks. Like in that graphic I showed, that's 26th in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
KW, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, but then we have to get to good, better.
Yeah,
best.
I know. It's just very quick. Does this bet have to have a winner, or is there a draw possible?
Yes. If there's a draw, you guys both have to take us to dinner.
well, I think Nick should pay.
Separate.
If there's,
It's gonna be who wins. You have to win.
I could see
well,
a
that helps
draw.
Danny a lot.
Yeah.
Brew will not agree to that. Brew will not agree that you can't win the bet without the
There's
team
games
winning
like
the game.
Josh Allen, I think, against the Jets.
Well,
he did nothing.
Shador
He
could
still
win
the
without
game.
winning the game.
Oh, but Danny, the Bears.
There's no way. If the Bears lose, I don't really see how Caleb, unless Caleb throws for 300-something yards and 4 touchdowns.
you're stuck.
But Shador would probably have a decent game.
Even special team stuff, he needs to be the leader in the
There's
locker
no
room.
way.
By the way,
Inspire those guys.
that sushi spot that I've been telling you about.
Yeah.
I saw if they could have a reservation rate. I think it's like $6.50 a person per.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Sake included?
There you go.
Well,
Coach shook Danny up.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah.
really
Well,
did.
by the way,
Bears are gonna win.
Also, Coach can put away some food. I've had dinner with Coach. He wouldn't mind me saying that.
Good, better,
Coach
best.
can run
You
up a
better
check
hope we
on
do
you.
it a week Greg's.
Oh yeah, that's true. Greg's not allowed to eat.
That'll be a
Wow.
big difference.
Bring some
in the
Tupperware, some
bill.
chicken and rice. Yeah, Coach picking the Browns, an upset alert. Very disrespectful. Little good, better, best in honor of Ben Johnson ahead of the Bears game. No problem. Good. Caleb Williams. Not going to turn the ball over. Going to make solid plays. He's at home. He's a touchdown favorite. He'll win the game. He'll be good. You know who's going to be better? Dennis Allen. That's the defensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears that leads the NFL in takeaways. I know it was cute what Shador did against the Raiders in his one road game. Now you got to go to Soldier Field against the team playing for the 1 seed, playing for the NFC North, all of their hopes and dreams in front of them. Number 1 takeaway defense in the NFL. Dennis Allen is going to confuse Shador Sanders and win me dinner. But who's going to be best? Same as last week. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monungai. 150-plus rushing yards between the two of them. Browns rush defense, not
Good
very
for
good.
me. I'll take
Good, better.
That was the first time you've done that with us.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I like that. Good, better, best. I think Ben Johnson for year 2 is going to need a new little.
I
catchphrase.
disagree.
New little song.
I disagree. I think it's
All
perfect.
right, moving on to Arrowhead, Chargers Chiefs. Mahomes says he's in unprecedented territory. Brew, we'll start with you on this one. Can the Chiefs do anything to make you believe in them again?
I mean, look, if they blow out the Chargers, that'll be very impressive, but it'll still be like, okay, are they still even going to make the playoffs? You'll feel a little better about it. Because I'm looking at it, what will make me get back to where I was a month and a half ago when it looked like, okay, they're going to get back to the Super Bowl? I think it will be them winning out and making the playoffs.
But
like
nothing on Sunday?
I don't think that won't. It'll give me a little bit more belief,
I guess
but
the
no.
question is there anything they can do Sunday that's going to make you feel like they're going to win out? Like they're going to at least make it to where we're in a tiebreaker scenario or at least alive pending other teams' results in Week 18?
That has so much to do with the Chargers, and the rest of their way. But
The answer is no.
The answer is no.
Well, yeah. Well, the
That's
answer to that one though is a
Sorry.
different question, right? Because aren't the next two games Titans and Raiders?
No, it's
they'll
Titans,
beat-
Broncos, Raiders.
Oh, Broncos is first.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so then my answer also is no. Like the Chiefs
suck.
But where we've disagreed a lot on the Chiefs this year, but where we have agreed is if they get in.
No, you're not allowed. That takes dead for you. You're not allowed to have that opinion. You wrote them off multiple times. You can't now be like, but if they get in, I'll be scared of them. No, you think the Chiefs are not good. You're not allowed to all of a sudden say if they get in, they're good. They can do damage.
Is that in the
I'm just
bylaws? Is that in the contract? I'm not allowed to. I don't know. Like right now, one game they've been too hot and cold. They've been too on or off. One game it's drops. One game it's penalties. One game it's the defense. One game it's the offense. One game it's a star. One game it's coaching. Like it's too inconsistent that one game and the positive side is not going to get me all the way back.
The answer for me is yes.
Oh, shocker.
Well, listen, I am not as confident as others that they are going to win this game. But if they win this game, KW, this is what I know is going to be the case. The Chargers, who I think have looked shaky for a month, will obviously be shaky. The Chiefs will have won the game with an offensive line that is actually, in this very moment, more banged up than the Chargers. The same three guys that were out for the Chiefs last week are out again, and the backup left tackle. So they will have overcome that with the right guard and right tackle on their way back because they thought they might play this week. The Titans coming up next, and the Chargers, to me, being absolutely on the ropes. And I will feel this way because I think that
even if it's a close win,
if the Chargers lose,
but they just win.
if the Chargers lose this game, I will be convinced the Chargers are going to finish the season losing 3 of 4 or 4 of 4. And so it will then, for me, come down to can the Chiefs in Week 17 at home against Denver beat a team that maybe hasn't lost at that point in 12 weeks, is playing for the 1 seed, all of those things. Because they're not going to lose to the Titans. And the Chargers are in Dallas after this, home for Houston, and then in Denver at the end of the year. So I started this week on a gurney with a face mask on because the Chiefs have lost consecutive have-to-have-it games.
That was a nice casket.
It was a very nice casket.
It was a nice casket.
But if they win this game, KW, I also think the teams that they're chasing, one of them starting a 44-year-old and I think is about to get blasted by Seattle.
Correct.
And the other one, they're playing. So I think it also will, I know Mahomes' kind of demeanor has been, we don't even control it anymore. And I know they still technically won't control it after this week, but I think they will feel like, man, we are right there, and we do have it all in front of us. So I will believe again.
I will 100% believe in the Chiefs. I also am guaranteeing a victory over the Chargers. The Chargers are riding one of the luckiest wins in the NFL this year. Their game was, they got sacked. It's the worst for the Chargers. They were pressured 68% of the time, worst by any team this year. Combine that with Chris Jones, who has been sort of disappeared for most of the year, and all of a sudden, like, boom, guess what? Here's my season-high 7 pressures. So this combination of Chris Jones being on a heater and the Chargers being in trouble, who were gifted a win by Jalen Hurts, spells a guaranteed W for the Chiefs. Travis Kelce's down in the dumps. I don't know why. I grant he was beating himself up. Look at the tight end statistics for like Travis Kelce. He's top 5 in catches and yards.
I think he's upset with himself that he's had some high leverage mistakes.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's fine.
They've cost them.
But Nick, you said that you don't have a ton of confidence that the Chiefs are going to win this game. They weren't
Correct.
in Nick's picks.
Yes.
But if the Chargers lose to the Chiefs, they're definitely going to be losing to teams like the Texans and the Cowboys.
But the Texans and the Cowboys right now are better than the Chiefs.
Well, so you think they're better than the Chiefs?
Right now, absolutely. The Texans and Cowboys just. Bro, we do this weird thing in the NFL.
Yes.
It's weird. We play games.
I don't believe that.
Right now, we
like
played.
recently.
The Chiefs needed the games. They lost them both.
Okay.
So right
That's a
now,
big
this
admission.
moment, those teams are better than the Chiefs. Right now.
We'll see. The vibe antennas will be interesting in Arrowhead. We'll see if you're letting
It's
go.
going to
of the
be
rope on the
nervous
board.
energy early. If the Chiefs get out to an early lead, I think it could snowball positively. If they get out to an early deficit, I think it might be the culmination of an incredibly taxing
That would be
3-year and really 7-year run.
Not great. All right, time now for a special edition of Parkins Picks.
Is it special anymore?
Oh, it's
Always
special.
special.
It's seeing the NFL very clearly. This is the official pick segment. I plug into the matrix. I see the league clearly. I'm not going to let 3-0 change me. I'm not scared of picking big games. Taking the points with Detroit. Play in the wood with the Chicago Bears. Easy, easier, and easiest. I know that I'm right.
Now, here's the thing, gentlemen. I'm not red hot. I agree. That's undeniable.
It's 1 and 2.
It is 1
We're
and 2.
covering up your record. 'Cause it's so embarrassing.
The record is
22 and
is
20. It's not
better than your record.
Ah.
To be clear.
But
I'm
favorite.
That's a
trending.
few
But it's-
games.
No, I mean, I have 21 losses. He has 20 losses.
Oh, you're doing a loss column. That's fine.
Yeah.
But we all can remember last week. Bills won by 5. I laid 5.5 points.
Yeah.
Lost by half a point. Tough break.
Welcome to
Bears. No, I'm explaining it for the audience and reminding Wilds and Brew what happened.
Yeah.
Bears lose by 7, 6.5 point dog. I lost 2 games by 1 total point.
So like
by half a game each.
Do you get like if you made that bet like at the sportsbook and casino, do they like give you some of your money back?
That would make sense.
They
Like,
should
oh,
give it
you
back
were
to me.
close, like
a
90,
value
like a
loser,
rebate.
Nick.
Okay, yeah.
A value loser. I was that close to a 3-0
And
week.
you're
You
one
were
win.
getting boat
Yeah.
raced. All right. Well, listen. You can give me advice when you pass me in the standings.
Okay.
So week 15 feels like 3-0. I'm 1 week removed from 3-0. By the way, Green Bay goes into Denver and takes care of business. Denver has 11 wins. 9 are by 1 score. So that's the Broncos side of it. Now you get a team that's playing its best football that I think is a legit Super Bowl contender, coming into your house, favored by less than a field goal, and Jordan Love on the road. I don't want to just talk bad about Denver. I have to be honest. Jordan Love has been very impressive. He's arguably been the best road quarterback in football this year. And as Brew has pointed out a number of times, his weapons are getting healthier. I thought he looked incredible early against the Bears. He obviously looked great against the Lions. I think he gets the job done in
Go ahead and
Denver.
say it, Danny. J-Lo.
J-Lo. It didn't feel good. I'm sorry. 3 weeks in a row. They keep covering for me. Let's go back to the well. The Houston Texans.
Oh.
Minus 9.5 against the Cardinals. Well, sneak peek, I
Yeah.
guess, for the last one. Spoiler alert, like the Chargers and Arrowhead.
Yeah.
But on the Houston side, Houston minus 9.5. What have the Texans done the last 5 weeks? Well, they've won all 5 of their games. What have the Cardinals done the last 5 weeks? They have lost all 5 of their games. Let's compare the defenses. The Cardinals, the worst defense in football the last 5 weeks. The Texans have only been the 6th best defense in football, but they are the best defense overall this season. Houston keeps beating playoff teams. The Cardinals keep losing. I think the Texans blow them out. Not sure that Arizona gets the double digits in this game. And yes, last but not least, there was a spoiler alert there. I'll take the Chargers plus 5.5. I could talk to you about Justin Herbert. We could talk about what the Chiefs have not done with their pass rush this year, so they're not going to be able to exploit like Philadelphia's defense was last week. But honestly, I don't get why this number goes up. It was 4.5, now it's 5.5. The Chiefs as a favorite, they still have this just belief from the public. Overall, 5-6. Against the spread, 4-7. They haven't covered as a favorite since week 8 against the Commanders. Maybe they'll win, but I think it'll be ugly and they'll eke out a 3-point win. 5.5 is just way too many.
Maybe they'll
this
win.
spot.
Maybe they'll win. What do you mean maybe they'll win?
Listen, I liked the Chargers in the game, but I'm getting 5.5 points. You explained to me about gambling with half points. I get
I can
plus
see a
5.
3-point win.
Yeah, 21-17 Chiefs
was my
is a
pick.
win
High.
for me.
The way that you're talking about, like you don't feel confident,
Right.
and it's a 5.5 point spread, is strange.
Yeah, so that's why I included it in
You know
my
what
pick.
that feels a lot like?
It's a great pick.
Feels a lot like 1-2. Feels like we're going to come in here next week.
By a half point
and,
again?
and what the Packers have somehow won the game by 2. The Texans get backdoor covered. Like something just feels a lot like 1-2, Danny.
I'm sorry, I'm not
9.5.
laying 13.5 points.
That's a lot for a team that doesn't score.
Correct. It's like one special teams.
Just don't allow any points. Then it won't be a problem.
Excellent edition of Parkins Picks.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Welcome back to FTF on a Friday. We got Coach Mangini and Willie Colon out here with us now. Sunday, fascinating game. Packers take on the 1 seed in the AFC, the Broncos, in Denver, but Green Bay is a road favorite. Packers, got to admit, starting to roll, looking for their 5th straight win. Coach, who's the scarier team with a win? Packers, Broncos?
Yeah, to me, it's definitely the Packers if they're able to win this game. And when they lost to the Browns, that was one of their biggest tests in terms of facing a really talented defense. Now they're facing another really talented defense, but they're also facing a team that's won 11 straight games in a row at home. One of the longest winning streak. I think it's the longest winning streak right now in the NFL, home winning streak, but also close to getting to Denver's longest home winning streak additionally. And to hear Jordan Love talk about a lot more on the table, a lot more that they can get to. You saw that against Chicago, and I'm going to show you a tape here in a second that I thought was not just a function of how well Jordan Love played last week, but how effective they were offensively, collectively, in terms of scheming up what Chicago was doing. So if we go to the tape, this is at the end of the second half. There's 45 seconds left, or end of the first half. 45 seconds left in the first half. This is the second one of his touchdowns, and they're in the exact same formation as the first touchdown they scored. They're keeping the tight end in the back end. They're going to block 7. Then they're going to run an over route by number 3. They're going to run a post route inside and then an in cut. So they've got 3 inside breaking routes. They've got man zone answers over there with their 3 receivers. Now down here what the Bears are doing is they're overloading the left side. They're going to play cover 2 behind it, and they're going to bring the slot corner off it. So they're disguising and then bring the slot corner off it. So what happens is the backside safety and the middle read dropper both get stuck on the over route, and then this middle read hits right inside of the backside safety, and there's no chance that he's going to be able to get it. And Love does a really good job of leading the receiver away from the backside safety. You can kind of see a little bit better angle here, or at least the quarterback's angle here, and the way he leads him away from it. But what I loved about this play was it was a play that they set up based off of another play that they had scored on earlier. And to Chicago's credit, they had a good package. Yeah. They had blitzed earlier, then this was built off of that blitz. But Green Bay was a step ahead of them on both of these plays and scored against the max pressure and then scored against the disguised cover 2 zone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Packers gain more from this, and I think they go from being dangerous to a legit Super Bowl contender if they're able to beat the Broncos at home. I also think right now it comes down to this Packers defense, because for me, they have to prove they can win a 12-round fight, because the Broncos offense isn't explosive, it's methodical, right? And we saw what happened. You showed great tape, but if you go back to that game, the Bears didn't look good in the first half. It was the second half they rallied, solely because I felt like the Packers defense let off the gas. And I think if you talk about who the Broncos are on offense, like right now the Broncos have 4 wins when trailing entering the fourth quarter, most in the NFL. So they finish games. They know how to finish, especially with Bo Nix. So if you're the Packers right now, you get this when people look at you in a different light.
Yeah, so I'm already there with you guys on the Packers. Yeah. Like the Packers are a Super Bowl contender. I think that Jordan Love is streaky, and he's on a really good streak right now, and a streaky quarterback can win you a Super Bowl, and we know their defense is legit. To make a point about Denver here, Denver's defense is very good, their coach is very good, and Bo Nix has displayed some clutchness. There's no question about that. But if you have 11 wins and 9 are by 1 score, and some of those 1-score wins, both of their games against Vegas were by 1 score. The game against the Giants and the Jets were both by 1 score. The game against the Titans was a 1-score game. Like, it's not like they're just beating. Now, they have impressive wins. Like, they beat Philly, they beat Kansas City, they beat Houston, also by 1 score. Yeah. If Denver beats Green Bay when they're an underdog at home, I do think I'm going to have to be like, well, man, maybe they just are the team this year that knows how to win. And I have to give that up for them. And so, while I don't think the Broncos are scarier than Green Bay, I think Green Bay's ceiling is higher than them. This, to me, will be validating for Denver. Whereas for Green Bay, I know they can win the Super Bowl. I don't right now think that Denver can win this game, and I'll have to give it up to them.
Yeah, I also think that's a tribute to their defense. Their defense keeps them in a lot of games. I mean, at least fights in situational football. So, and you definitely need a defense come January. My thing, it comes down to Bo Nix. He can't be streaky, right? Like, I think right now you have to see some consistency out of him, especially as these weeks start to dwindle down, because if he comes into the playoffs and he's streaky going into the playoffs, they may be one and done.
Think about how little respect the odds makers have for Bo Nix. This is a team that's won 10 straight games. Right. Now, one score or not, it's 10 straight games. This is a team that's won 11 straight home games, and you're going to make Green Bay a road favorite against this team. That's saying that we have very little to no confidence that Bo Nix can do anything.
And I get it. Like I don't want it to sound harsher than it is, but I believe they are still they are 5-0 this year when Bo Nix has a passer rating of under 85. That's impossible.
But there's an old adage that more games in the NFL are lost than won. And what Bo Nix is doing a good job of is he's not losing games for Denver, and that's a huge starting point for most teams.
And they have the comebacks, and he has displayed clutchness and all of that stuff, and I respect that. But just this, to me, would tell me more about Denver than Green Bay, because I feel like I already know a lot about Green Bay. To L.A., the Lions are on the road. Love when these two teams match up. They get the Rams. Detroit is a 6-point underdog. 4 o'clock Eastern, by the way, on Fox. Both teams coming off a win. Both teams with quarterbacks facing their former teams. You know the narrative. Goff v. Stafford. When you look at how Goff and Stafford had fared since the trade in 2021, this is one of the favorite graphics we've ever put up here on the OT. That is since 2021. These guys are traded for each other. The wins is the head-to-head going up against each other. But those are their numbers. Like, it is just, everything about them is similar. Their team's record are similar. Their personal accomplishments, how they play against each other is similar. So, Willie, I'll ask you. You see any way Goff outplays the MVP favorite Stafford?
It's tough because I'm a fan of both of them, right? I'm damn sure a fan of Matthew Stafford, but I don't see Goff outplaying Stafford right now. The one bad game Stafford has on tape is against the Panthers. It wasn't a good one. We chalked that up. Right now, if you look at the Detroit Lions offense, it goes through Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery. It's not going through Jared Goff. I actually see Goff more as a game manager right now than actually a playmaker or somebody who's the difference on the field. Not to take away his numbers, and they are what they are, but you're talking about Matthew Stafford leading the league in touchdowns and being damn good in the red zone. I just have more belief in their offense with the 13 personnel they've been able to execute with. You're talking about the run game and their defense, and all Matthew Stafford has to do is just beat him in clutch moments, and he's been really good all season.
What's been frustrating about Detroit is they've been up and down. So in the last 8 games, it's win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. And unfortunately for Detroit, they won their last game. So they're on target to lose this game. They've been 3-3 on the road, so they haven't been very good there either. Last year I felt like there was so much consistency out of Detroit. This year it's been anything but consistency, whether it's the fact that they had to change play callers in the middle of the season, and now they're getting used to that. So Stafford definitely has the edge in terms of how much more consistent collectively that team has played, how much more consistent he's played. So I'm going to give him the edge.
And the Lions are down 3 starters on defense, so that's another factor.
Well, so I think that's a huge factor, right? The opponent for Goff is tougher than the opponent for Stafford. Like, we can compare the quarterbacks because they're traded and their numbers, and that's largely how media does these things. It's Goff v. Stafford. But it's Stafford against the Lions defense, and it's Goff against the Rams defense, and clearly one of those is way tougher than the other. I will just say this, because you're right, Gibbs and Montgomery are the engine there. Goff is just he's impressive. Like, the Lions offense is impressive, and when they get it rolling, they have been inconsistent, but when they get it rolling, they can put 40 on the board.
Oh, easily.
We just saw it. I think they still have the most 30-point games of any team in the NFL this year. Like, their ceiling offensively is as high as any team in the NFL. I don't know if that means that Goff outplays Stafford in the head-to-head quarterback matchup, but the Lions can win a shootout.
Yeah, I think that's why teams don't typically underestimate Detroit, because you don't want to get embarrassed. They're the type of guys they're going to hang 50 on you if they can hang 50 on you, and they're fine embarrassing you and rubbing your face in the dirt. So, nobody really lightens up.
No-name guys like Tesla, you know what I mean? Like, they can get after you.
And they're happy about it.
And they're happy about it, right? And then also, I think we talked about it earlier in the week. I think Dan Campbell realized what he does well is calling the runs. Like I don't know if he's fully comfortable with calling all the plays, but right now the run game is his strength, and the way they've been running the ball, they look like a juggernaut. So we'll see what they can do on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a little distinction, and maybe without a difference that I'm making here. It's hard to see Goff outplaying Stafford, but the over-under in Vegas for this game is 54.5, which is one of the highest that you'll see, certainly this year in the NFL. Like, people are expecting a shootout. So even if Stafford is very likely to have a better statistical game than Goff, the Lions can win. Because the Lions can score
usually when they predict the shootout, it's like 13-10.
Sometimes.
What happened?
Yeah, sometimes.
This is what I signed up for.
When these teams have played, though, the games have been
I
really
would be
good.
shocked if the Rams defense let up that many points. I know how good the Lions are, and I agree with you. They can put up points in bunches, but I'll be shocked.
Yeah, the playoff game a year ago, the opener was a really good game. When these teams play each other, they tend to be great games.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.